Chancellor Jim Malatras, thanks so much for being here.
It's nice to be with you, Dan. Thanks.
Anytime. So classes have started about a month ago now. SUNY campuses have been open. And to be honest with you, I'm surprised that more campuses haven't been closed. Obviously, you have some guidelines for what would constitute remote learning at those campuses. Have we seen any upticks at SUNY campuses in recent days that people should be aware of around the state?
And you're so cynical, expecting more chaos on our campuses. I think it's a testament to what the SUNY community has been doing. And we came up with a pretty aggressive three-part plan. One, more testing, which we can now do because of SUNY Upstate Medical, our premier upstate medical university, came up with a saliva test where we can produce up to 120,000 tests a week. So that's been a game changer for us. Second piece is more data transparency. We require all of our campuses to report every 24 hours how many tests they've done, how many positive cases there are, how many students are in isolation, so we can monitor this in real time. And the third piece was enhanced compliance. The good thing is a vast majority of our students and everyone are complying with the rules in this new kind of day, new normal. But unfortunately, there's still a few who aren't, which have led to some outbreaks, which you've seen on a couple of our campuses. We've increased the penalties. We've said we're serious about this, and I think that has slowed down the spread of the virus. And when you do see problems emerge, you saw that at SUNY Oneonta, you saw that at SUNY Oswego, we act very aggressively because this is a public health matter. We take those things very seriously, and we're going to continue to act aggressively as those things emerge to hopefully keep the overall virus down across our system.
So let's talk about that testing, because I think it's so cool what you're able to do with this. So not to sound disgusting, but you basically take the saliva of a bunch of people, and this is why it's called pooled testing, and you put it in this, container, whatever you're testing it in, and then you test that whole batch so that you don't have to test people individually, which I think is really cool. It's allowed you to now test every student in the SUNY system every 2 weeks. But if you were to go back before the semester started, if you could do it over again, would you rather keep students off campus until we have that testing mechanism in place?
See, I can't go backwards because I just became the SUNY as of the beginning of September. All I could do is move forward. We have the technology, so we're going to use the technology. And I think what you're going to get out of my chancellorship is aggressive action to combat the virus, use every tool that we have in the toolbox. Now that I have that tool, we're going to aggressively use that tool. We're requiring all of our campuses to test now. That's not an option. It's a requirement. And I think it's been working now because you can see ongoing testing on all of our schools. So we're going to keep using all the innovations that we have here. And hopefully we can keep increasing our capacity on our campuses. Because in the end, what I'm hearing as I go around as the new chancellor, students are happy to be back. It was really hard to end in-person learning in March. It was really disruptive to their educational opportunities and experience. And most of the students I talk to say, I'm so glad to be back here. It's a little unusual the way we're back because it's a little different, but they don't want to go home. So this is allowing us to keep our campuses open. And I think it's been a really important thing for us to continue to focus on.
So let's talk about enforcement since campuses are open. At SUNY Oneonta, obviously, we had the problem where students were going out and throwing parties and the virus was just spreading. And I know that that's not uncommon on SUNY campuses. We hope that students will not throw those parties, but now you have new enforcement rules. Tell me about them, because I know a lot of people are worried that this might not be as closely watched. So I understand that SUNY campuses will now be able to immediately suspend students who do something that may spread the virus, which would include parties off campus, but it also includes things like if you're showing symptoms, you should quarantine yourself. You shouldn't go out onto campus and interact with other people, right?
I feel like I'm the no fun chancellor, but the unfortunate thing is we are still living with COVID. We still don't have a vaccine, and we still see how quickly this can spread. Oneonta was instructive to, I think, a lot of people. That was really, when it came down to it, was one party of 50 individuals. Those 50 individuals, several were positive. It spread like wildfire through that school. So we have a zero tolerance policy on this. Dan, it's not just the individual, it's not just parties. It is people who violate the isolation protocols, for instance. Isolation means you have the virus. So you should be isolated for 2 weeks subject to a Department of Health order. If you violate that, there should be serious consequences. So I think it strikes the right balance, but it sends a serious tone. And I think most students are complying with this. And we just hope that very small number of students who remain non-compliant kind of come to their senses and say, you have real repercussions in your academic life potentially. But put that aside. This is common sense. Don't impact the rest of your community. Think about everyone involved here, not just yourself.
So speaking of the student body, I want to talk to you about enrollment because I know that's been a problem at private colleges. Obviously, COVID-19 has hit everyone's finances, and I think that might be the case for SUNY students as well. I was wondering if you've seen a drop-off in enrollment at all this year as students may not be able to afford to come back to campus or start their college career.
Our enrollment is down a little more overall because of the virus. I will say this, Dan. We've had this pattern in changing landscape in higher education well before COVID has come into our state. So we've been dealing and grappling with this situation for a long time. What I want to do is transition beyond COVID because I want to demonstrate that we can keep our campuses open first, even under COVID. And then how do we grow the SUNY system? I love the SUNY system. Public higher education is important to me because I am a product of public higher education, the first SUNY chancellor ever to be a graduate of the system, which I still think is a little made up, but I'll take it because it's important to me. I'm only here because of SUNY. So yes, our enrollment is down. COVID has accelerated and exacerbated some of those problems. We have to address those things. The federal government has to stand up and give us some more money because we are facing some serious financial challenges. But I see opportunity here. When I hear 50,000 students have gone somewhere else, I want to recapture those 50,000 students. When I hear students going to other systems across the country, I want to get those students back because I think SUNY's second to none. But it's up to us to demonstrate the value to them.
You know, speaking of financial challenges, obviously, aside from the federal government, the state government may be forced to cut spending on SUNY in the near future because of our massive budget deficit. How is that going to affect SUNY campuses across the state? I know people are wondering that as they send their kids to school and as people come back to class.
Well, right now, the state has not taken any action, which has been tremendously helpful to us. So we haven't had to do any of those reductions. In fact, working with the state, we have kept important programs like the tuition assistance program and Excelsior and other programs fully operational, or our EOP, or educational opportunity programs, which provides academic access to many disadvantaged community members. Those programs are all running. Those are really critical for enrollment and critical for us to grow. But if we do come to a situation where the federal government hasn't responded and provided funding, we may face some difficult choices. We're hopeful that they will respond. They'll see the value in public institutions like education or healthcare and other places. We're not there yet, luckily, but we'll have to address it if it does come our way. But we're hopeful that we will have a response from stakeholders in funding.
All right, new SUNY Chancellor Jim Malatras, always great to talk to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.